Hey everyone, welcome to Biz Bounty Hunters. My name is Taylor Postel, and this is my channel. All these videos you're going to see are from my cold email masterclass for business acquisitions that I previously had on a school community, so the formatting might be a little different. Some things might show up like that, but no need to worry. I've moved everything for free here on YouTube, so everyone can watch through this whole class. It'll be divided up into the playlist, so you can follow along step by step everything that we previously had in our school community. But without further ado, please like and subscribe, and let's hop into the content. Hey everyone, welcome back to Biz Bounty Hunters. My name is Taylor, and I'm going to be walking you through email sending tools today. So what we're going to learn about is the two options that I use, what I recommend, and where to start, and best practices on just setup and things like that. So you're not going to want to get into this until you've watched the previous videos on getting your domain set up and everything. This is the next step. You want to wait for everything to propagate before you start connecting these accounts, have that your email's warming and everything. So let's get started. Here's what we're going to cover. The two systems I like to use, the first one being Woodpecker. This is what I like to recommend for beginners, and it's a great place to start. I've used it for the majority of my cold emails for business acquisitions, and I highly recommend it. And next, we have Instantly. So this is a newer system I've been using. It has a little bit different features and things of that nature, but it is another option. And I'm still exploring it myself, but all my past results have been with Woodpecker. So that's generally where we're going to be leaning towards today. Don't forget, sign up for the newsletter. It has important updates, and the link is in the caption below. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and X for more exclusive content. And share the course. Let's start a revolution and change people's lives together. Warning, this is the most important video in this course up until this point. Don't skip, watch the entire thing. Make sure you get all the information. Pro tip, if you need to watch in 2x speed, feel free. All right, so let's jump into email sending tools. So first, we're going to start with Woodpecker. They offer a free trial, so it's a great place to start, and it's what I've been using for the majority of my time with cold email. Just going to log in here. So once you're logged in, this is what's going to pop up if you're using a free trial. Look exactly like this. So first and foremost, you're going to go into your settings and add email accounts. So I've already added one here, but you're just going to go in, can quickly for your G Suite and 365 connect accounts. So you're just going to click, it'll take you through the steps. I would add all your domains and inboxes that you had previously purchased to your Woodpecker account. So just click on each for whichever you're using. Keep adding all of them as you go and get them all loaded up and ready to go. So once you're done with that, we're going to just create an example campaign, kind of show you how it's done and what I generally like to do. So first, add a new campaign. Here you can add your accounts. So I only have one currently connected, but you can, if you add more new accounts to add, you can add multiple accounts per campaign. I usually like to put 2 to 3 inboxes per campaign. So first, you have your initial email here. So this is where you're going to have first contact with the seller. You have your subject, body of your email, and your signature, which you are given the choice to create once you connect your email account. I like to keep it very simple. You don't want any logos, any images, anything that creates extra problems with deliverability. So just plain text. I usually just my name, company name, and then a phone number if you so choose. I like to have it there just for some extra credibility so that people can reach out if they do want to. I've only had, I don't know, 3 sellers actually call me in general, so normally it's always responding with email. Next, you have when the email will send. I like to use afternoon, so generally 2 to 4 p.m. I found is beneficial, but play around with this. I like afternoon generally because in the mornings, people are, busy checking all the emails that have to get done. So if you send an email in the morning, I've found that it's more likely to be ignored and people are busy doing their mundane tasks in the morning. So sending in the afternoons, like I said, play around with this and see what works best for your target. But you want to change all of them to the same time. So you would just continue to do that. I don't like to send on weekends. And then here you'd create your subject, put your body email in. We will be going over email copy and subject lines at a later point. So we're not going to do that right now. And then to create a different version, you just add different versions here, however many you want. I like to do at least 3, generally testing subject lines. You don't want to test more than one thing at a time, including your email timing. So first, I would test subjects, see what gets the best open rate. And then once you've settled in on some good subject lines, I would then test your copy. So then you're going to keep consistent subject lines. So you test your subject lines, you found one that works. Then for version A, it'll have the same subject, but then your email copy can be different if you're wanting to test that. And then once you found that works, you can then play around with the timing, but only change one variable at a time when you're sending emails, just so you can, because if you change 3 things and it performs well, it could be all 3, it could be 2 things, it could be 1, you don't really know. So once you have your first email, you can add a condition. This is the one feature that Woodpecker has that Instantly does not, and many other sending tools. So if I like to have it if a prospect has opened an email at least once. So that means they've opened it. And at that point, if they've opened it, it goes down this chain. And if they have not opened it, it goes down this separate chain. So with that, my copy is generally more of a generic follow-up rather than a more specific message, just because if they've opened the email, I want the messaging to be different. If they have not opened the email, I'll rephrase my initial email, just because if they haven't seen the first one, if you just said, hey, checking in, then they're not going to have any idea what's going on, especially if they deleted the first email. Next, if you leave the subject line blank, it will do a reply to the first email. So my flows generally, I will do, so you have your subject line in the first one, interested in selling your business, whatever you have it set as. The first follow-up, I like to leave that same subject, so it'll reply and say, to that same email, and then, hey, did you see my email? Let me know, and keep it like that. After your first email, I like to have it set for a 3-day follow-up. You could do 2. I wouldn't do any more aggressive than that. You don't want to be bombarding them with emails, but 2 to 3 days for your first follow-up is generally where I like to stay. So like I said, you leave that subject line blank, as it will follow up in the same thread. And here, since you're using that same subject line, it's much easier to test different versions of copy at this point, since it is maintaining the same subject line that you established in the first email, whether version A, B, C. So here it'll keep that same subject line. Do your different versions to test copy. And then the next follow-up, I like to do a week later. And with this one, I will create a new subject line generally. So it'll be back to the same type of copy rather than a follow-up and a nudge. It'll be more along the lines of would love to buy your business, things of that nature. You're going to add another step. This is my final follow-up nudge. It'll be leaving the subject line blank, so it will follow this subject line. It'll be a nudge, just, did you get my email? X, Y, and Z, love to chat, things of that nature. And the timeline on that is 3 days. So going through, you have 2 initial messages that are kind of explaining what you're looking to do and establish consulting for equity, purchasing the business, and then there's 2 follow-up nudges. So it's shorter emails that just kind of let the person know, hey, are you interested? And moving on from there. Going over to the no side, I like to keep all these emails, the copy based around more of that messaging of wanting to either, buy the business, consult for equity, just because if they haven't opened the email, I want to make sure my message is still conveyed. So not doing the nudges, it's more of a full message. So you're going to do the same exact timing. 3 days between the first one, the second one, 6 days, and then you add another one, changing it to 3 days. So that's what I like to do. So you're kind of talking to them twice a week, essentially. And if they don't reply, kind of moving on at that point. From my testing, I found, after about 2 weeks, they're either going to reply or they're not. If they're busy when they receive them, they generally will get back to you with the follow-ups. But anything past 2 weeks, and I really haven't seen great results. So I used to initially do it over about a month, and it just took too long, and most of the replies were from the first or second emails. So that's the general setup. Remember, you have the timing on all of them, different versions for testing. They also have an AI feature within Woodpecker that can help you develop your copy. I would use it sparingly, kind of let it generate something, and then I would put your own personal spin on it. I wouldn't leave it at what it spits out to you. So then once you have your timeline set up, you're going to upload prospects, which we'll be going into at a later date where you upload your data, and I'll show you how to do all that. So once you do that, you'll then have your summary, what accounts you're sending from, how many steps in each side of the email are you A and B testing, your prospects, and you can save. Send a test email, which I would always recommend sending a test email to yourself. Just to make sure everything comes through, especially since we are using custom fields. You don't want to start sending and there's errors in your emails. But that's the general setup on Woodpecker. So pretty straightforward. It has the opened email function that not many email systems have, so this is a great place where I'd like to start with emails. Next, we're going to hop into Instantly. So now we've logged into our Instantly account, and over on the left side, you're going to see generally it opens you up to all your inboxes you have warming. Just check on those, make sure they're doing well if you're using them for warming. Next, you're going to go over to campaigns. So we're going to create a new campaign. Just test. So you're going to then go to sequences. So with Instantly, you do not have that decision tree where if they've opened the email, it will send a different message. So this one can be a bit trickier. Like I said, I have not fully vetted a bunch of campaigns on this system. That is actively what I'm doing now. So I still recommend you using Woodpecker since that's what I know 100% works. But this is one of the newer systems that I'm actively using and wanting to let you guys know about it. So here, you're going to have your subject line, your copy, and this is where you can add variants. So essentially your A and B testing. You can change the subject, change the copy, but like I said, you're only going to want to use one variable in each of your steps. So with this one, you can write your subject, and then you have your AI generator down here. Some rough templates they offer, kind of generally reaching out and giving you an idea. You have lead generation. I've never used these per se, but it can help give you an idea of how to structure your emails. They have different types, all these different options you can look through and see if any of them may work for you or give them a shot to kind of give you some brainstorming ideas. Next, you will start adding your steps. Remember to change your follow-up timelines 2 to 3 days. Once again, if you keep it blank, it will follow up in the same email subject. I like to do, like I said, that one with the same subject. Step 3, I would create a new subject line. And then once again, fourth, I would follow up with the same subject line again. So this, you do not have the decision tree, so your messaging will be different. Like I said, we'll be going into the email copy in a different video. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a run through on how this all works. They also have a unified inbox. So you can, all your domains you have attached to Instantly, you can keep track of all your emails in here. Your analytics, and they are working on a CRM. I have not jumped into this yet, if it works well or not, but it's something that they do offer that may be beneficial. Quick reminder, guys, I do have affiliate links for both Woodpecker and Instantly down below. If you could please use those when you sign up for your accounts, I would greatly appreciate it. This content is all free, so the affiliate links do help support the channel. And remember, leave a testimonial. The link is below in the description as well if you find any of this useful. Hope you guys enjoyed that content. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Peace.